Whoosh, we're back. Squeeze the Neck podcast, back at GB Top Team. And my new mate today, she's going to pronounce her surname because I messed it up in practice. Sinead.
Nuallain.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate
no worries at all.
So this is cool. You're my first female bare knuckle fighter coming on, which we're going to talk about and stuff like that. When's the date? You said the date?
29th of March.
Just got
in
announced.
Manchester,
In Manchester, brilliant.
It
Okay,
got
cool.
announced today.
Nice.
So my bout should be announced this week or next week, hopefully.
Very good. So after this will come out in about 3-4 weeks anyway.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be out by then.
There you go.
Definitely.
Nice. So we'll get into all the bare knuckle and stuff. But before we do, that's an Irish accent I hear.
Yeah, definitely.
Where are you from and how did you get into martial arts?
So I was actually born in the UK, and my parents moved to Ireland when I was about 2 or 3. So we moved to the countryside, which is the west of Ireland. So I actually grew up like in very much the countryside till I was about 18, and then I moved to Dublin, the city centre, and then I was there for 5 years, and then I came back to the UK about 2 years ago.
Where was you born in the UK?
Tooting.
Oh, you was
literally around the corner.
Well, me too. Where were you born? Exactly. Hospital.
St George's.
St George's on the firm. Beautiful.
So
that's
not far. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then I ended up back in Ireland, and I ended up back here again.
I got you.
So,
Yeah, that's cool. But so, what was martial arts over there? I take it you was obviously very young.
So my dad was really involved in like traditional Jiu Jitsu and stuff. He was a black belt in that, and then he started Jiu Jitsu, and I just kind of went along with him. We used to like me and my brothers used to fight all the time. We used to do judo and all that. So I kind of started that, and then I started getting into kickboxing, and then I started competing, obviously at a very low level, kind of amateur, and then eventually I went to MMA. And I was in John Kavanagh's gym, in McGregor's gym.
SBG?
In SBG for about 5 years, and then I came here.
So you'd have been really young then, because you broke my heart a minute ago. You just said you were 23, made me feel like an old man.
I was in John's from about 17, I say, to about 20, 21, I can't really remember, and then obviously I came here.
Was you a bit of a unicorn in there, like a young girl at that age?
Yeah, I was, but obviously it was quite a good group of women. Obviously I was probably one of the youngest there, but it didn't really bother me.
No, because I've said this on it before, like when I was boxing, like back in the day, there was like one woman in the club, and she was like, I believe, if anyone finds a Vesna, shout out Vesna, she was like, I think she used to compete at like 49 or 51 kilos. Yeah. So she was tiny.
She's
like,
tiny,
she didn't have anyone to train. Whereas now, obviously, you come in here,
there's probably
spoiled,
the best women's team in Europe, if not the world, you know what I mean, at the moment. But SBG had a big crew as well, and they still do, like, so, I was lucky to be fair in both aspects.
That's cool. And what's that like, SBG? Is McGregor about, or is he...
I only saw him a couple of times, to be honest, but it's kind of like this gym, it's very packed out, there's a lot of pro fighters, everyone wants to train there if they're from Ireland, and people fly over there, he's got dorms there, so you can stay and stuff. So.
Is it one of them that people like go there once or twice and they go, yeah, I'll train at SBG?
Yeah, like, there's some people like that. I think there's some people like that everywhere you go, though, isn't there? Every gym. There's people that come here, I say, oh yeah, I trained in GB, like how many times? Once, and it's like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I was not for this one. I've been here a few times for podcasts, right? And I'll come in, and I won't mention him obviously, but I won't out him. But there's some guy was going, I train at Team GB and all this. I went, I'm in there like for a podcast tomorrow, and he kind of like the colour drained out of him. He was like, well, I've only been there a few times.
That's it. It's like, in case you ask who we are, well, we don't know who you are, mate. Yeah.
But did you say you started in Jiu Jitsu? Was Jiu Jitsu your first thing?
I started in like kind of Jeet Kune Do karate based thing, and then I started Jiu Jitsu when I was officially started Jiu Jitsu about 8 or 9, but I was already doing stuff with my dad before that, do you know what I mean? Yeah, and my brothers. So I officially started that, and then once I went into Jiu Jitsu, I kind of worked out what MMA was. It was kind of when Ronda Rousey came about, when she kind of took the MMA by storm, was when I kind of saw MMA, and I was like, oh, that looks like something I want to do. So eventually I just transitioned from kickboxing to MMA.
That's cool, isn't it? But I tell you, it was funny, you mentioned Ronda Rousey. Someone said to me the other day about it's 10 years this year since she got kicked in the face by Holly Holm. Again, that makes me feel
flies,
old,
doesn't it?
bro.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
Yeah, that feels like that was...
I would have been 13.
Was you really?
That's crazy, isn't it?
I would have been 14. How about that? No, but it's mad how time goes, because like there's videos of her going around now. She's pregnant again, I think.
Yeah,
right?
she's had her second kid.
Oh, she had the second
one.
Yeah, because she's just living a completely different life, right? Which is
it just shows people have life outside of MMA. Like it doesn't last. Not that it doesn't last forever, but you only have a short window of MMA. And I think a bare knuckle or whatever sport. Like,
well, that's it. Because she was the woman for a while, wasn't she? Like it was her and everyone else. Was that like? Obviously, you said you watched it. So was she like what's the word I'm looking for? Was she like the fucking North Star that you looked at?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she was a role model for me, very much so. Like, I can't lie. I did very much think she was great. And then even when her downhill, it was just like, it just shows that every year people are evolving to become better and better. And it just showed that like people got better than her, and then that was
especially for the women, I think, right? Because the field's thinner, isn't it, in reality? But like you touched on it earlier. It's like I've been in jiu-jitsu classes, especially where there's more women than men now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Especially in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Yeah, MMA is getting more. I think more women are coming into it, but I think it's still very much a male-dominated sport. Yeah. Where jiu-jitsu, I think there's more women competing and stuff.
I think so, but even in MMA, again, like from speaking to Kate here, like she was sort of saying, Kate Berchick, check out the episode. We go deep on conspiracies. Go and check that one out. But she was saying like now you can spar with women, right?
Yeah,
whereas 100%. Like I said, where I touched on the girl that was in my boxing club, she just had to make do with moving around with like men.
We're lucky here. Like if you need, like, you know, on Tuesdays we do whatever. I think it's 5-5s, whatever MMA. Like you'll have 5 women to spar with.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can jump in with the smaller lads. But most of the time, there was women for you to do all your rounds with, and you don't have to worry about training with the lads. Yeah.
Is there a different training with men? Do you feel like a different? That sounds like a sexist pig comment, doesn't it? But do you know what I mean? Is there a different?
They're obviously going to be bigger and stronger.
Right.
But to be fair, all the lads here are really good. They don't go too hard on you, but they do like make sure that you're working. Do you know what I mean? Which is good. But
at the end of the day, you're getting in for a fight, right?
That's it. So you got to just kind of get on with it.
Yeah, of course you have. Yeah.
You can't get on with it. You're in the wrong sport. Do you know what I mean?
Well, right. And when did you start MMA? Like competing MMA?
Competing MMA 2021. I started in the IMAFs. I did 4 IMAFs.
What's IMAFs?
Is like the Olympics of MMA. You
right,
fight for your country. So I qualified to fight for Ireland.
Brilliant. Is this amateur level? Is it?
Amateur level, amateur level. And then I did a few of them, a few other fights. So overall, I had 13 amateur fights.
Oh right, so
and
quite a lot.
I went pro. I actually fought Kate for my first pro fight.
Did you?
Yeah. It was on short notice as well, but yeah. And then I fought again in April just last year, my pro. But yeah, now I'm going to bare knuckle. I will go back to MMA, but yeah, I'm currently.
What's the bare knuckle thing? Is that like a side hustle? Is that just an
I
opportunity?
don't know, but like people are saying, oh, it's just like a lot of people give their opinion because it's bare knuckle and I'm a woman. They're like, are you okay? Like, I'm like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, bare knuckle for me, I've always wanted to do it since I was about 12, 13. I know that sounds mad, but it's something I want to do. And, you know, there's not a rule book that says you've got to do it at the end of your career. People say, oh, you should do it at the end of your career. Because your hands and your face, I get it. I do understand that. I do understand why people. But there's no rule book. Show me a rule book that says you've got to do it that way. People say, oh, would you not want to do it? No.
Yeah.
You know, I can do it whenever I want to. And if I want to do it now, I'll do it now. And I spoke to Brad, and Brad was like, if you want to do it, you can do it. Do you know what I mean? So we spoke to my management, and they were like, are you sure? And then I was like, yeah, of course. Like, let's just find it. And BKFC came up.
That's cool, isn't it? Because you're
this
probably
will
better
be
off
out in
doing
a few weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Okay,
yeah. I can't mention this.
At least 3 weeks.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so BKFC came up and they were like, we can match you. But obviously, we don't know if we can match you, but let me try and match you. And they matched me within a week.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think you're probably, well, not obviously, but you're probably better off fighting at this age anyway, right? While you're still young and fresh.
Do you know what? Honestly, I don't know why people people just have this thing, they have to stick to the rule book.
Right.
Oh, I have to do it at the end of my career. I have to start. And maybe they're correct in doing that, but in the way I work, I just think, if I want to do something, I'll fucking do it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. If it goes right, even better. Do you know what I mean? As long as I give the best that I can do, that's all I can ask for. Yeah,
I mean, I think at the end of your career, it's a money grab for a lot of people as well, isn't it? Like, they're kind of done.
Like I said to you, MMA can only bring you so far because you get to an age where, like, can my body take this anymore? Do you know?
Right.
Do a few bare knuckle, you get paid a bit more for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're at the end of your career and you don't fancy kicking anymore.
Yeah, do you know?
Why
not? It's still a violent sport.
Yeah.
But I mean, the rounds are shorter, the time is shorter, there's less rounds. Do you know
that's what I'm thinking, like, in terms of actual physical health, obviously hands, cuts in your face.
You're definitely getting brain damage.
You're getting that, right? But in terms of, like, you're not getting your legs beat up, you're not getting your neck twisted. Do you know what I'm saying? I guess it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And you're fighting anyway, so.
But, I mean, if you're signing up for bare knuckle, you know what you're getting yourself signed up for. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Same with MMA, you kind of know what you're getting yourself signed up for. Same with boxing, you know what you're getting yourself signed up for.
Yeah.
And if you sign up for it, then you've just got to get on with it.
Yeah. And what is it? Is it like a multi-fight deal? You're going to actually be a bare knuckle fighter now?
No, it's not multi-fight deal. It's just, I've just signed for this one fight. But they said, like, if I win this, it can go on to different things.
Right, cool.
I haven't really made my mind up yet if I want to go back to MMA. Or I don't even know if I like bare knuckle. I might go in there and think that was fucking horrible.
That's
like, never make me do that again. But I don't think I will. I think I'll enjoy it. But again, my style might suit that bare knuckle more than MMA. I don't know. I might do 4 fights in bare knuckle and then go back to MMA. I'm 23. I literally have loads of time to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. But let's reverse a little bit before this bare knuckle opportunity come up. Like, what was your ambition in MMA? I mean, I'm assuming you're like.
Yeah, it was the UFC, obviously. Like, I just want to be the best in the world at whatever I want to do. Do you know what I mean? No matter what. When I was 4 and 5, 6, I used to do Irish dancing. I used to be like, I'm going to be world champion Irish dancer. By God, that changed. Now I get punched in the face for a living. But, I just want to be the best at whatever I do. And whatever I do give it 100%. And that's the main thing that you can do in life is just give it your all. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you just get back back to the drawing board and do what else you want to do.
Try again, right? But like with now, obviously, this might sound like a silly question at the start, but like when you transitioning now, you've got a bare knuckle fight coming up. How much does that affect your training? Have you just give up MMA training completely?
Yeah, because if I get, injured wrestling or Jiu Jitsu, they take the contract and it'll affect my contract, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it has been harder because it is a completely different camp. There's a lot more running involved, a lot more skipping, there's a lot more pad work, and there's a lot more just boxing sparring, you know what I mean? Where like MMA, you can come here every morning and there's a session for you. Where me, I've got to work around Brad's times, where Brad can fit me in and where other coaches can fit me in. So yeah, it is different. And yesterday, funny you say that, yesterday I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Not like I don't think I can fight, but the camp is completely different to what I'm used to. But again, I've signed up for it, so I've just. In
terms of what, boring or what? What do you mean?
Like it can be a bit not. I don't call it boring because boxers will probably come for me. But I mean, for me,
that's all right. Take them down. You'll be right.
What I'm used to it is boring to what I'm used to. I'm used to high level pace rounds, blah blah. Where now I'm like, okay, I've got to go up and run now for 45 minutes. It's not really what I'm used to, but I do it. And I'm starting to love it more, but some days it's harder than others, definitely.
Yeah. Is it as simple as just train boxing, or is there specific for bare knuckle? Do you train a little bit different?
I train a little bit different. Like I hit pads with bare knuckle and stuff, and my hands are getting used to that. No matter how many fights I had as a kid, you don't prepare yourself for a bare knuckle fight. You know what I mean? So hitting pads is different and doing all that kind of stuff, and like the movement is different. You have to have all this head movement because if you get hit once, you could get cut. Where in MMA, you have a chance. If you get hit, you're okay. So it is a little bit more.
And obviously you can't spar bare knuckle, right?
Yeah, so that's another thing. I'm going to go into a fight, never been punched in the face bare knuckle before.
That's interesting, isn't it? That's an X factor there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they're short fights as well, which I think is good. Like if you watch the shows,
6 2-minute rounds.
If you watch the shows, they're exciting, aren't they? Because it's like onto the next, onto the next, onto the next. But like, do you spar MMA gloves for this, or? Are you
so I do a bit of both. I try and do one day MMA gloves and one day boxing gloves.
Right.
I don't want to get any more brain damage before I get into the fight. Do you know what I mean?
Are the other people you're sparring with, are they boxers or are they? Are they bare knuckle fighters? I meant to say.
No. They're just the pro fighters. I've got Claire there, Claire Lopez. She's a professional MMA fighter, but she's really good boxing, so I do that. And I'm going to travel down to another gym and get some more spars in. To be fair, I've been getting loads of spars and I don't even need to bring anybody in at the moment.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe when I get more advanced, if I stick with bare knuckle, then I will have to eventually just go and spar boxers. But for this fight, I think I'm fully prepped with everyone here.
That's cool, isn't it? Yeah. And what's bare knuckle training look like? I know we're saying boxers and stuff, but like in terms of like if you're training MMA, it's multiple times a day, strength and conditioning. But what do you do now for this? It's the exact
same. I still have to train 2-3 times a day.
Oh, you do?
You know what I mean? And obviously, I work here in GB. I work on reception, so I work 2 evenings a week. So I still have to train after I finish work. So I finish work at 9. I stay in the gym and do strength and conditioning. Do you know what I mean? Because I still have to train twice a week. So it just depends what day. Like this morning I hit pads with Brad. I went for a run, and then tonight I work till 9, but I'll do strength and conditioning in the evening. I've just got to make it work.
You got to sleep as well, though. You
know
what I mean?
You got
to get that rest.
I'm in bed by 11 at least, but I only live down the road, so it's kind of handy.
There you go. Yeah, it's cool. So let's go back like to again like MMA stuff, like because I've spoken to so many people who've got different opinions on how to train for MMA now. I've literally spoke to some people that are like, I train once a day, hard. I've spoken to some people that like put it in the case of like they actually only train, what they're calling train, 2 or 3 times a week. Now they're on the mats 2-3 times a day, but they're looking at it more like a practice. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's an MMA camp look like for you?
Yeah, like obviously everybody is different. Everyone's body works different. Some people might like going hard for one session. I personally have to train twice a day, or I'll go insane. Do you know what I mean? So I know my hard session will always be at the pro session in the morning. That's where most pros turn up. They were there, and then the evening time, it just depends if I want to do a session, or if I've got pads, or I've got strength conditioning, or I've got a run. It just depends what day of the week. It depends what work. It depends what everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, cool.
Hard sessions always in the morning.
And before a fight camp, I'm assuming from what you just said, you train year round, right?
Yeah,
You're
I do. Yeah. There's no such. Well, there is such thing. People might come for me for this as well, but I don't really think there's a fight camp.
Right.
I think you're training all year round, and you just up the intensity when you go into fight camp.
And that's what I'm getting at.
In. But I think if you're training all year round,
you're almost ready anyway.
You're almost ready. You just gotta like up the intensity, or add the extra run, or add the extra strength session. Right. But again, everyone's different. It depends on everyone.
And what is it? How long before a fight do you sort of turn the pace up?
I do 8-week camps.
You do, so it's relatively long, isn't it?
Yeah, I do 8 weeks. This one was from November. I've been training for this bare knuckle since November, because I've known about it since November, but I haven't been able to say anything because obviously people knew I was doing bare knuckle, but I couldn't tell them when, where, my opponent. I couldn't tell them the location. I couldn't tell them what organisation. I still can't, because it hasn't been announced yet. So yeah, I've just been training since November for this fight. Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it?
But I am glad because it gave me time to transition over.
Right, because you got to change the mindset as well, right? Because in terms of bare, like even people that I know that I've spoke to that have done bare knuckle that just come from boxing, they said it's a major shift. Do you know what I mean? Like from things they're doing.
And people say to me, "Oh my God, you're so brave. You're going to get punched in the face bare knuckle." It's not about being brave. Like people mistake this thing of oh, if you're brave, you don't have any fear, you know, and it doesn't mean that I don't have fear within me, you know, but I know I have the fear, and I just said, actually, you know what, I'm just going to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? So people forget that oh, she's just a nutter. She doesn't mind getting hit.
No.
You know, I don't mind getting hit. I enjoy it because I do it for a career. But at the same time, of course, I have fear. I'm thinking, oh Jesus, what if I get punched in the face and my nose breaks again? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I've just got to get on with it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what brave is.
Yeah.
Everyone's scared. Do you know what I mean? Brave ain't not being scared.
Yeah.
Being not scared is stupid, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like being brave is being scared and doing it anyway.
Just doing it anyways. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have some sort of toughness. You want to be a fighter.
Yeah, of course. Are you itching at the moment, like to get back into grappling and stuff, or are you just not bothered?
Oh yeah, no, I am. Some days I'm watching, like my partner was in that pro session. I was like, I'd love to be doing that right now, but I know that I've chosen to go this path, so I've got to stick to it. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I want to go bare knuckle. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
of course. Well, the
it
reason
can be a mental battle.
Yeah, because the reason I ask is Alexander Usyk, who just fought. There's clips of him going around saying when he's in a thicker training camp for a boxing fight, all he does is boxing. Obviously, he does a wrestling session to help with his like clinch work and stuff like that, which I thought was quite interesting. But you're not doing that for your bare knuckle. You're just gone completely.
No, I've just gone completely boxing. Yeah. I need to just go completely boxing. But to be fair, Brad's been helping me a lot. He's been He's kind of adapted his style to my style.
Right.
That kind of like just walking forward, moving your head. Because I'm quite short and quite stocky. That I'm quite lucky to have Brad. Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm only 5'1".
5'1". That's all right. That's massive, no?
Yeah, huge.
But what weight is the fight at? The
53.
And what 53? Yeah. And what's that like compared to your MMA? What fight?
I fight at 54 in MMA. So it's pretty much the same. So 54 or 52. So it's pretty much the same.
Because that's another thing people do a lot in the bare knuckle, right? They fight at, say, I don't know, 155. They fight at like 180 or something. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird, the bare knuckle, because the weights can be quite different for women.
Right.
They can fluctuate, because like on the website it says minimum weight. Like, what's minimum weight? But it just depends on what you and your opponent have agreed on. Do you know what I mean?
Is that it's like kind of
unless you're fighting for a title, then obviously it's a set weight class. But yeah.
That'd be quite a cool thing to do, wouldn't it? If you come through this one, like, and you start going up the ranks like a bare knuckle world champion.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, do I want to do that and follow this all the way through? Maybe become a bare knuckle world champion. Do you know? Or do I want to just do a few fights and then go back to MMA? Do you know what I mean? So
well, you could do both. I mean, both could go hand in hand, really. You said before you're 23 years old. Like, if you spent 3 years in this, like, became a world champion in bare knuckle, that's a leg up to go back to MMA. I would have thought, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, that is a thing I'm thinking of, to be fair. But again, I don't really know if I like it or not. I think I will.
Right.
I'm 90% sure I will like it because I love fighting. But you know, I can't say 100% until I get in there and do it and think, oh, this is what I want to do.
But you know what I mean? If you come back to MMA as like, now I'm a bare knuckle world champion, that's got to carry a bit of weight with organisation.
And I'm the first woman to do it in Ireland, because there's been not that I know of, there's no bare knuckle women that have fought in BKFC. Maybe bare knuckle, but not in BKFC. And like the first woman out of GB, you know, I'm probably probably the youngest that's been on the card on the organisation. Yeah, I'd have to double check that, obviously, but I think I'm the youngest in the organisation.
You said, are you Irish or English? You were born here?
I was born here, but
you're Irish, right? You're claiming Ireland. Never mind. If you win a world title in bare knuckle, we're claiming it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, just because I was raised there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I probably will follow that through, because they're trying to do a BKFC Europe. And then at BKFC, they're opening in Italy, and then they'll go to BKFC America, and blah, 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 then the world. That's what they're trying to grow up. So.
But it's exciting too. Like, obviously, the big thing going around, well, big thing, slap fighting is big, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't catch me doing that.
Not for me. Do you know what I mean? I
don't care how tough you are. I just don't like anyone that does it, I don't care, but it's just not my thing.
It's just not for me at all in any way.
That to me isn't fighting.
No, exactly.
That to me is just...
Would you tell people, I'm slapping world champion?
Yeah, like it just...
Come on, bro, what are we doing here?
Yeah, no thanks, more do you know what I mean?
It's just not for me.
the only thing I'll probably do, like that's out of my box, but... Yeah, all that stuff, it doesn't appeal to me, no.
But the reason I say it is because bare knuckle, like, if you watch it, it's exciting, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think anyone can sort of like get into it. And if you watch it, we touched on it before, like fast rounds, all that kind of stuff. The other thing I watched recently with the fighters that just gone is they do one fight to the next pretty quick. You know, we've all been at boxing shows and MMA fights where the fight happens, you sit there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're quite good on that, I have to say. Yeah, they just zoom through it all. Yeah. It's because none of the fights usually go the full length of time, so you know, but yeah.
Because 2 minutes as well, you can sprint almost 2 minutes, can't you? Do you know what I mean? So that makes it exciting.
That's why, like, Brad's like to me, your cardio has to be 100%.
Yeah.
And like, he's made me run it, and my cardio's gotten so much better that I can go for 12 minutes non-stop. Yeah. And I don't need a rest.
6'2" is quite long, isn't it? Like, I don't think people appreciate that.
Well, like, my pro MMA was 3.5s, 15 minutes.
Your pro MMA debut, so
both my fights have been 5.3s. They have gone the distance.
Right.
So to me, that's nothing to me.
Yeah, because 5
But
minutes,
I'm still preparing myself for it, because 15 minutes MMA is different to 12 minutes bare knuckle.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So I can't just say, I've done that for 15 minutes, but you're getting punched in the face bare knuckle.
But it's a different pace too, isn't it? Like you can't go half 5 minutes like you can for 2. So I think that's a mistake people make too. Because I hear it all the time, and I'm sure you've seen it. Like MMA guys, they've got like a 3 5-minute round fight coming up, and they're sparring 8 rounds. Yeah. I go, I get it, but like when you're close to a fight, that sounds like a mistake to me, right? Because the pace is off. You're not fighting
100%. Like my partner said, he goes, should I be doing like more rounds after? And I'm like, no, just do
faster rounds, right? Harder rounds.
Your rounds that you need to be doing. You don't need to, because that's where your injury prone comes in and stuff like that. So, but again, everyone's different. Every coach is different.
Is he an MMA fighter? Is he?
Yeah, he's amateur MMA.
What's his name?
Taylor.
Shout out Taylor.
He's fighting next week. Yeah.
Is he? Shout out Taylor
He's
Mills.
fighting on. So bless him. Yeah, he's this is his 7th at amateur. So
all right, so he's into it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a couple of years.
And how old is he?
He's 22.
22, so very young as well.
We're both young. Yeah, bless.
What weight's he fighting at?
61.
61. There you go. Shout out Taylor Mills. Get you on the
love
podcast soon. Win this fight, we get you on the podcast. There you go.
So it's kind of good having them though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both, when we're both deep in camp though, we can be a bit grumpy, but we just get on with it. We understand each other in a way of like, I know he's now a week out from a fight. He's cutting a lot of weight. I know he's going to be grumpy, but it's good to have that person to say, I understand you. Do you know what I mean?
The last thing you need getting ready for a fight is a missus moaning in your ear.
Yeah, Joe, you wouldn't catch me moaning. I'm really like, I try and make it as easy. And then obviously I'm fighting in 6 weeks after him, so he'll help me in 6 weeks' time.
That's good, isn't it? So do you ever spar together? That might be a strange one. Oh, you do?
Domestics in the cage.
Is that
we're
right?
getting CCTV up. We do have domestics in that cage.
Oh, no.
People are like looking and we're like, it's fine. This is what we do, So we don't have it at home. We have it in the but no, he's very good. He hold pads for me and I hold pads for him.
That's cool, isn't it? Yeah, that's real cool.
We just help each other as much as we can. So,
that's nice. But like obviously MMA is obviously a big part of your life still. Your partner's still into it, you're doing your thing.
It's always going to be, I think. I think I will eventually go back to MMA.
Yeah.
Because I love it. I do have love for it, but I'm just veering off the path at the moment.
But you got to do what you got to do, right? I think that's a cool thing. And like you said before about the age thing, why not jump into it now? Do it now, get it done.
And I find, people, when I say I'm doing burial, people look at me and they're like, you're either just a nutter or, you don't understand it, and people do give their opinions a lot. You find it. I found it more than I'm doing bare knuckle now. People like to just randomly give me couldn't even know Joe Blogs over there, and he finds out I'm doing bare knuckle, he'll give me his opinion. And I've had to say to Brad, like, how do I deal with this? Because I'm quite sensitive. I shouldn't be, but I'm quite sensitive. And I take things, I'm like, overthink things. And Brad was just like, why are you even bothering? Brad's very much like, I couldn't give a shit kind of attitude. Right. So he's actually helped me kind of say, unless it comes from him or Taylor or my management or someone I train with, then it doesn't actually matter.
Of course it doesn't.
Do you know what I mean?
And you said nuts there too. What's really nuts? Someone working 9 to 5 for someone else?
Do you know what I mean? And I like this guy, he said, oh, but you're a woman. Sorry, what's that meant to mean, mate? Yeah. And it makes me angry and I want to knock him out.
You should have played it his own game. You should have said, who are you to assume I'm a woman?
I did. Yeah, I should have said that. But people just... I think it's not normal. It's not the norm.
No, of course it's not.
And I want to break down that barrier of, I saw a podcast the last day and someone said, bare knuckle is really sexualized. And I do agree with that to an extent that when the women weigh in, some of them can look quite, I don't know, provocative or whatever. But that doesn't mean that all bare knuckle female fighters are, but that's my opinion.
And who cares
anyway? But people just seem to have this bad aura around bare knuckle and a woman doing it. Until they see them fight and they're like, oh, they can actually fight. And you're like, do you know what I mean? So I want to break down that barrier of like having that, oh God, you're doing bare knuckle. People don't say that if you're doing MMA. Oh my God, you're doing MMA. They say, oh, you're doing MMA. Oh, that's really good. Yeah. So I want to change that kind of...
But it will, because MMA, go back a few years, if you was a woman fighting MMA, Jesus Christ, you would have been like fucking lunatic.
So I want to change that. And I think eventually, if I stick to this, if I decide to stick to it, it will eventually change.
But it seems like, whether it's bare knuckle or MMA, you're fighting for the right reason anyway. You love fighting.
That's the only reason I fight. I love it. And it's all I've known since I was 5.
Yeah.
I know nothing else.
That's mad that, and it's 5 years old.
Yeah, 5, 6. I've always competed in kickboxing, Jiu Jitsu. If I stop now, I'll go insane. Yeah. It's what I love to do. And my parents have accepted that, and they know that this is what I love to do, and they helped me. When I was kickboxing, I couldn't afford anything. They used to pay for all my competitions. Do you know what I mean?
What did they think about you? Are your parents fighters?
No, my dad's obviously Jiu Jitsu and stuff. Right. My mum, God no, my mum's not. But when
a little girl, that's what I'm saying. When a little girl's fighting, is she like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I broke my nose in my last fight in MMA. And it was really bad. It was bloody. And my dad, I swear to God, I've never seen the colour drain from my dad's face when he saw me the next day. It was like, I'll show you the picture after. I looked like I was stung by a bee, and I was like, oh, it's fine. To me, it's a broken nose. It's part of the job. He was like, you're never fighting again.
Oh, was he?
Not letting me do it again. I can't. It only lasted for about a day, and then he was like, "Oh, it's fine. You want to do it, you do it." Yeah. I think he just got a shock. Well, when I told him I was doing bare knuckle, I actually told my mum to tell my dad because I was like, "I'm not telling him because I don't know how he'll react." And my mum was like, "You're not doing it." I was like, I am. She was like, okay, my mum's very open. She's like, if you want to do it, you know, it's your own life, you do it. But my dad, he was like, are you sure? What? I need to go and look it up. I need to YouTube it. And I say it took about a week for him to say, okay, if you want to do it, you can do it. Do you know
a week's not bad though, isn't it? Like,
but even now, like when I told him, oh, it's going to be announced, he gets really nervous, bless him. But I think it's just because I'm his only daughter. Do you know what I mean?
Oh man, I can't imagine. Like I know what it's like with guys who've got a missus on the mat. Like that,
I think about poor Taylor.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'd find that hard enough, let alone like it's your daughter that's like...
Because Taylor gets not quite a bit of shit, but people say, you're going to let her do that? And he's like, I can't stop her from doing it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's my missus. At the start, he was like, you're not fucking doing that. But that was, again, for only an hour or so. And then he was like, well, if you want to do it.
Yeah. But you was already a fight when you met him, right? So
it's
different.
He was in the corner with my nose fucking nearly came.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you meet someone, it's already a fight. I think it's different, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Like, you know, like I know people that have done like, you know, they've had loads of fights and whatever, and then all of a sudden their missus in their 30s decides, I want to have a fight.
Yeah,
and they're
it's
like,
just,
yo.
I don't know how people do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I met Taylor as a fighter, you know, and as an amateur fighter, and you know he understands that I'm gonna do what I want to do, and if I want to do bare knuckle, he supports me. Yeah, he gets nervous, and people say, "Oh, are you gonna let her do it?" He's like, "But she's gonna do it. Yeah, I'm not in control of her."
You can't,
if he wants to go and do, I don't know, fucking tennis or fucking golf, I'm gonna let him do it. If he doesn't want to be a fighter anymore,
don't let him do golf. Stop him. Stop all that nonsense.
Yeah, if he said I don't want to be a fighter, we'd have an issue. But I'm trying to be a good girlfriend here. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, people just. I don't know.
Well, do you know what was mad? I had someone on it, I think it was in America, I can't remember, I won't mention the name in case I'm wrong, but anyway, he would corner his wife for a kickboxing fight, and the wife got kicked in the face and knocked out, and he's in the corner, and I'm like...
Yeah, I don't know, I'm not even in Taylor's corner for his fight, and I'm already nervous.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? I obviously, I get very nervous when he fights, but it's normal. Do you know what I mean? It is normal, but bless him, he was in my last pro fight corner, and my nose was across my face. Do you know what I mean?
That's tough, that, isn't it?
And you can see in the video, he's like... like fuck, do you know what I mean? But yeah, he just, it's, as I say to him, you gotta like split the personal and the business.
Right.
Like you've got to be switched on as a businessman for when you're in my corner as a coach.
Well, he's essentially he's not your boyfriend at that moment.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I say
he's
to him. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm like, you've got to be a cornerman.
But you're a cornerman.
So if I get my nose put through my face again, you've just got to get fucking on with it. Do you know what I mean? You know I'm tough, and you know I can survive it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So.
Or don't be there, right? Because like, I need you to be a cornerman now.
Yeah, and he is very good like that. But I can see in the fight, the moment this happened, he was like. His face was like, oh shit, but he pulled himself together fairly fast.
But he's got it right because you can't have a passenger in the corner either. You can't be worried about him worrying about you. And there's a whole fucking, you know what I mean? Like you see that too, don't you? See, well, they say that about boxers that have died in the ring, like not getting morbid. But a high percentage of them have got their dad in the ring, in their corner, because they're, you know, whatever, they're trying harder. You know what I mean? It's different, but that's I don't. Like people having their dad in the corner, I think that's a strange one. Anyway.
My dad would be trying to get in the ring if he was in my corner.
That's what I'm getting at.
Couldn't have him like.
But Joe Calzaghe it seemed to work for.
Yeah,
right? So,
see, some people grow up training like boxing with their dad. I grew up training Jiu Jitsu with my dad. You know what I mean? I don't think he could.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's not.
And I think some people have different relationships with their dad, don't they? Like a dad to some people is just like a dad, whereas some people's like their mate. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I love my dad, and I'm very, very close to my dad, but like, he's not my coach.
Right.
And sometimes I have to tell him, you're not my coach, Dad. He's like, oh, yeah, sorry. He gets a bit carried away. But yeah, no, he supports it. And I know he gets nervous, and I understand why he gets nervous, you know. But I say to him all the time, I said, this is what I want to do, and you've just got to let me do it. And he's like, yeah, okay. Did
your brothers fight as well?
No. Well, they did. They did when they were younger, but my brother actually plays, my youngest brother plays for Sligo Rovers, so he's a footballer. So
what's that? Is that proper
football? It's in Mayo. It's in Ireland. So it's
proper football.
Yeah, proper football. Yeah. So he's going up the leagues, and he's always 16 playing in the top team. So
that's cool.
He is very good. That he's concentrated more on that. You know what I mean? My poor mum's driving him up and down the country for these fucking games. Like my middle brother. So the one I've got two younger brothers. So the 20-year-old, he works with like mechanics and stuff. So he's more academic than he would be a fighter. Like, do you know what I mean? He's very good at jiu-jitsu. You know, he used to train, but he just academic. He's much better at all that kind of stuff.
He's not doing bare knuckle.
No.
But what they like? Are they like, sis, like, come on.
No, they love it. They're like, I'm going to be there. When is it? They are.
They're proper into it.
They support me 100%. And they've come to all my fights, bless them.
That's interesting, that, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because because with siblings, I don't know so many brothers and sisters, but like we all know loads of brothers that fought together. Yeah. And like they fall out, they don't get on, they have a thing, and they spar together. And like you touched on it with your boyfriend, like when you're sparring. But like you see two brothers sparring, they're having it, right? Do you know what I mean?
No, my family's pretty close. We're all very, very close. My family, you know, even though I live here and they live in Ireland, Do you know, I don't see them as often as I'd like to, but they support everything I do.
Yeah.
We keep in contact and stuff like that. So
but at the end of the day, that's the only way to do it, because like you said, you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, do you know, if you don't agree with it, then not even to them, but to anyone. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to go and do something, you know, you're going to go and do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you don't give a shit what people think, you're going to do it.
Yeah,
so
of course.
People don't have that concept.
No, they don't. And
don't
obviously,
understand.
like parents as well, I think parents struggle to see you as an adult. Like
Yeah,
parents
100%.
still, like
That's why my dad gets so upset when I get
Yeah.
Nosebleed. He's like, oh my God, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not 5 anymore. I'm 23. I live my own life. Do you know what I mean? But he's getting used to it. I like to say he's getting used to it. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
He'll never get used to it. He's never going to get used to watching his daughter get punched in the face.
Yeah.
But like, go back a little bit, because you had like a big amateur career in like MMA. Like, take us through that. Like, what was that situation
I
like?
literally fought the best of the best. I fought Chanel at the Four Nations. You know, we had a
you fought loads of teammates.
Yeah, I fought loads. I fought everyone as an amateur. I fought Ukraine's #1 in the IMAFs. You know, I got 2 bronze medals in the IMAFs. So it was all very good experience. Like, IMAFs is like the best amateur experience.
And sorry, is this like you represent Ireland?
You represent your country and you go to these and you fight other countries.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like the Olympics of MMA.
That's cool.
That's what we kind of call it within the community. But I did, I think, 3 of those, and then obviously I just fought I only fought in Ireland once, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fought in where did I fight? I fought in loads of places, to be fair, with the IMAF. So, you know, it's good though, because I travelled quite a bit and I got a lot of experience. Like, my record was 6-6, so it was 50-50. But like, I fought the best of the best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. And listen, 6 wins. Forget the 6 and 6.
Yeah,
like, to have 6 wins is a big deal anyway.
Do you know,
like, non-fighters will not realise that,
No,
right? But
that's
someone who
it.
fights will understand where
do you know,
you're
and
at.
I always say to people, like, you need to get as many amateur fights. Like, people that have like 2 or 3 amateur fights and go pro, I don't really understand that concept. But again, don't come for me. But as I say, everyone has their own kind of, you know, routine. But like, you haven't experienced anything as within 3 fights as an amateur.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You need to be put in uncomfortable positions as an amateur, because in pro you're going to get elbowed in the face, kneed in the face, not just like amateurs just punching really.
And that's when it really matters, right? Amateur, you're learning. You're learning. Like, no one cares.
Say, oh my God, I don't want to fight her because I might lose. Like, that
don't
to me
fight at all. To me, if you don't want to fight someone because you're going to lose, don't fight. It's not for you.
Yeah, like, so I had a conversation with someone. They said, "Oh, I just don't like losing." And I was like, "Well, you're not going to be successful if you don't like losing."
Well, none of us like losing.
Yeah,
right?
no, I said I don't like losing, but you've got to change that mindset to, okay, I've lost, but what have I learned from it? Not a negative. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so people need to change that mindset of, okay, I've lost, but there's definitely things I can take away there as a positive.
Right, exactly. I think you just got to understand it is what it is, isn't it? Like, I've told this on here before, and he's a bit of a team mascot now. We call him Dopey Paul. Paul Zenos was a guy who used to work in a gym. I don't know, I haven't had any contact with him for years. He was an older man in a gym. He was the sort of like, sorry, Dopey Paul, but you were Dopey Paul. He used to walk around in like a vest with his muscles hanging out in a gold chain. He was like 40 odd when we were all like 20, like, you know, whatever. He used to walk around, and like, there was a guy in there who was a Muay Thai fighter at the time. I forget the guy's name as I mentioned him, because he was a good Muay Thai fighter, and he used to, his record as a pro, I believe, was 20-10.
Yeah.
And Dopey Paul, shout out Dopey Paul. he was, he's lost 10 times. And it was like, bro, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
That's what it is, though. People that don't really understand the fighting game, they're like, oh, but you've lost 3 times. I'm like, well, you fucking try and get in there and fight. But you don't, so shut the fuck up.
Well, my point to Dopey Paul, shout out Dopey Paul, was like, if you'd have fought them 30 opponents, you'd have no wins, 30 losses.
Yeah.
But he couldn't compute it. He was like, no, but
people don't understand that are not in the game. They don't. Yeah.
Shout out to anyone who worked at West India Key, LA Fitness. You know who Dopey Paul is. Yay. Anyway.
Poor Dopey Paul.
Poor Dopey Paul. But he was a bully. That's why I call him Dopey Paul. He used to bully like younger people until someone stuck it on him one day, mentioning no names. And he might have panicked. But anyway.
Not crossing anybody.
Not mentioning any names, but someone might have put it on him and he panicked. Anyway, shout out Dopey Paul. Close, rant over. Like, with MMA, like, are you a fan of MMA? Because a lot of you do, you watch it, because a lot of fighters I talk to go, oh, I don't really watch MMA. And I go, like, what?
I do watch it. Yeah, I do watch it. Probably not as often as I should, but I do watch the fights. Yeah, of course. You've got to watch it. That's where you learn things.
Are you more of a woman's fan? I know that sounds a bit silly, but you just...
No, I watch anything.
You just watch anything?
I watch the whole card, do you know what I mean?
And then women, the reason I brought that up, I forgot to mention, was like, with women, do you look at women and go, 5 years?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I don't even think you mean to do it subconsciously. Yeah, I could definitely beat her in like 2 or 3 years' time.
Do you? Yeah, you look at it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the men do it to the men as well. So
I think you have to, right? I think if you're in that game, like,
no harm having a bit of like healthy competition in your head. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. Because with the MMA, like right now, obviously, I was going to say English, you're not English, right?
No,
but you're kind of one of us now at this point. We'll claim you.
I got British citizenship and Irish citizenship, so I got both.
We'll claim you. You know what I mean? Depends what you win. We'll definitely claim you. But like, there's a lot in the UFC now, isn't there? Like back in the day, like when I started watching it, it was Michael Bisping pretty much. I mean, Terry Etten was about, but like when I started watching MMA, it was around the time he got spin kicked. Yeah. And I don't even know if I realised he was English, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? But it was like, whatever. Michael Bisping was our sort of guy, wasn't he? But Dan Hardy actually fought for the belt, didn't he? All that kind of stuff. But like nowadays, do you have like people that you train with that are like on that mission and you're going like, I'm going to race you to the UFC sort of thing? I guess it's different because you're bare knuckling it up now.
It's different because I'm bare knuckle. Yeah, like I've verged off the path of the MMA, but I think there definitely is people that do that to each other in there. But again, it's not bad. It's healthy competition. Do you know what I mean?
I think you need it, right?
Yeah, that's why we have such a high like win rate is because they push each other as a group. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, and do you travel around training? I know you come from Ireland, but like, are you just GB'd up?
No, I'm just GB'd up, really, at the moment. Yeah, obviously I might go to 1 or 2 boxing gyms throughout this camp, but nothing that I'm just here for.
Where you at? Do you know any boxing gyms?
So I'm going to go to the one out in Brixton. Okay. There's a Brixton gym. My partner works with someone that has 2 kids in there, so I'm going to get, I got in contact with them, so I'm going to do a bit of extra sparring. There's no harm, do you know what I mean? And see how that goes,
That's cool, isn't
it? Yeah, because to fight a boxer, it's different, so I'll...
Well, I think it's beneficial to go around gyms because there's that, it's not fight night, but there's still that nervous energy of like, I'm in someone else's gym, sparring, nerves are on, isn't it?
And that's the thing with my partner, he doesn't live in London, he lives in Norwich, Great Yarmouth.
Oh, so what's he doing over there?
Yeah, well that's where his parents are, do you know what I mean? So he cross-trains in his gym up there and this gym, and like we spoke to Brad about it, and Brad was like, I don't mind you cross-train, and he said, I'd rather you cross-train, you know, it makes, you learn new things, you know? So he can't be here all the time, so he cross-trains and he thinks it's great, like, I mean, you get things from different gyms, you know?
And here's the thing too, right? I'll ask you about how you got involved with GB in a sec, but like, I think people get set in the ways. Like, you know, we've all come across them people that like, I do it this way. Why? Because my coach said so. It's like, well, I think people can get overcoached. Is what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes go spar, go do your drilling, go play the game and feel it. Because like we all know, like some people are talented, right? And everyone in a certain way. Listen, if you're in a gym like this, everyone's talented to a degree, right? Where it's like, you'll figure it out, do you know what I mean? Because you can't be talked through it. There's nothing that drives me more mad. I'm going to go on another rant here, guys, anyway. But like nothing drives me more mad, whether it's at a boxing match or MMA, Jiu Jitsu competition, and the coach is talking you through the whole fight. Oh, we good?
Yeah, we've got 10 minutes,
10 minutes, no worries, we'll get through it. But this has gone fast,
Jesus, that is going that way. I went, what?
Jesus Christ, we'll book you have a longer next time. But that was like, the coach is like talking him through the fight. Jab, move to the left, right hand, move it. And it's like, bro,
at the end of the day, and this is what I say to everyone that I coach, like kids and anything, I say, at the end of the day, it's going to be you in there by yourself. Right. You might have a coach there, but if you can't hear them, because there's a loud audience, you're in there by yourself, and you need to have the IQ in the fight IQ to be able to say, shit, I'm here by myself and I've got to know what to do here. Do you know what I mean?
But even if you can hear them, under that kind of stress, you can't take it all in.
No.
You need clear instructions. Jab, move this way, boom. Like, get that right, and then we'll add on top, you know?
Agreed,
But I'm no expert. I'm standing like Dopey Paul now, aren't I? Anyways, let's move on because we're limited on time. How'd you get involved with GB?
Oh God, it's a funny one. So I was in a gym.
Oh no, is there a bit of a story?
I was in a gym. It's called Team Underground in Elephant and Castle.
I know.
I was in that gym and it just wasn't working. They're a great gym. It just didn't suit me at all. And something happened with a fight I was meant to fight, and it just, the whole thing got fucked up. I turned up on fight day and the girl didn't show, whatever, blah blah. I didn't get paid, whatever, it's fine. So I ended up leaving that gym, and I ended up thinking like, where the fuck am I gonna go? Do you know what I mean? And I thought, well, I could go here. And I did try the gym before I came to GB, but none of the things suit me. So I messaged Chanel and I said, can you get me in contact with Brad, please? And she got me contact. I spoke to Brad on the phone, and he was like, more than welcome to come down and try it out. So I did like a trial week, and I loved it. And he was like, yeah, you can stay if you want, like, you know.
That's cool.
So I've just been here ever since, like, And then obviously he offered me the job as well, which helped me though, because it's, you know, you need income as a fighter, do you know what I mean? But because I'm in the place that I train, it's so handy just to finish work and go train. Do you know what
that
I mean?
was what he wanted you for, really. He was like, come over. We need a receptionist.
Oh, I never thought of that. I'll be picking that up with him now. So it's good. I'm here.
That's cool, isn't it? Yeah. Because I tell you what, I've been in multiple times, right? And it's always a good energy when you come in here. And like, we all know gyms that we've been in before where you go, I mean, the training's good, but it's like, I don't want to be here, right? I don't want to be involved.
That's it. And, you know, not everyone, just because I left the gym doesn't mean it's a shit gym. It just didn't suit me, do you know? And Chanel left there as well, and a few other people left, Federica, and so it just didn't suit us, as you know, and we had to move on to better things. At the end of the day, and I said this to the coach, I said, you've got to do what's best for, I've got to do what's best for me. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to do what's best for you as a coach, and me being here isn't what's best for me. Do you know what I mean? And the amount, I wouldn't be doing bare knuckle if I wasn't in this gym.
Right, and it's good for you to realise it again. Like, you keep saying how young you are, but like at your age, because a lot of people will come to that realisation at 35, 36.
And they hang out
too late.
Because this word loyalty is thrown around a lot. Oh, I've got to have loyalty to that coach. Okay, you can have loyalty, but at the same time, if your coach doesn't say, okay, I understand what you're saying and I know you've got to go, then you're on different pages. You know what I mean? Like, if I said to Brad, I need to go to another gym and do extra training, he'd say, yeah, that's fine, because he knows it's better for me. But if the coach said, no, you can't leave, you can't go and advance yourself, then you're not the right coach for me.
It's time to leave.
You're on some other fucking planet, mate.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Boom, there you go. Well, look, I really appreciate you. I know you're on a tight schedule.
Don't be worrying.
Before we finish, I always ask the most important question today. You were born in the right area, so you might give me a good answer on this one. Which football team do you support?
Arsenal. Shout out to my dad for that one.
Oh, the wrong answer. But anyway, thanks again.
No worries,
brilliant, awesome. I always finish with a fist up like that. Put that bottle down. I need your fist up. Fist up. Squeeze the neck. Boom.